Hey everybody, Marcus Crawford here with the Idaho Quadcopter channel, Mavic 2 Zoom. There's been a lot of updates lately. They upgraded the app and they upgraded the firmware, added a bunch of features. There's been a lot of videos out about it already. A number of really top-notch drone channels have put out a lot of information on this. I can recommend you check out Mikey over at Philly Drone Life. Air Photography has put out some good stuff. Drone Valley, Rick over at Drone Valley has put out some good stuff. Ken, Original Dobo, has put out some good information on it as well. Obviously, I'm not going to go in the same level of precision and detail that those guys do, but we're going to put this guy up in the air and try it out. So let me take a look at my phone here and we'll just quickly talk a little bit about it. So the important things on the app update for me were updating the display logic on the battery, is what they're calling it, but it's changing that font from white to green, and it put it in a ring. Looks pretty cool. I can't wait to take a look at that on the app. And then the gimbal settings now allows us to adjust yaw speed and gimbal pitch. Looking forward to that. And that is DJI Fly app version 1.1.6. Let's take a look at the firmware update. And yeah, so the firmware update is version 01.00.0340. The big features on this one, of course, the home run feature is zoom. They've added a digital zoom that everything I've seen looks just phenomenal. You are hard pressed to not believe it's an optical zoom, but it isn't. It's digital. And in 4K and 2.7K it's a 2x zoom. In 1080p it's a 4x zoom. And then another one that I'm interested in is they changed it where you can set the drone so that it will not take left and right bank or yaw or roll commands, which can be helpful. I can tell you, for me, when I'm doing a manual droney, that can help you keep that drone going straight back, so I'm looking forward to trying that out. You know, then they changed some things with regard to hyperlapse, where you can pause it, and some other things, optimized active track, and then you can add 45 waypoints now when you're doing a hyperlapse. I'm not sure why you'd need to do that, but it's there. Oh, and then the other big thing is that they optimize the gimbal when you're in sport mode, so that when the drone pitches forward, it keeps the gimbal in the same spot. If you, in the past, in sport mode, hit full throttle, it would actually change the angle of the gimbal, and obviously that could mess up a shot. So evidently they've fixed that. I don't know if we're going to try everything out, but I've got some batteries here. We're at Heroes Park in Meridian, and we're just going to mess around and try some of this stuff out. This will be the first time I messed with this, so we'll be stumbling through it a little bit, but we'll be stumbling through it together. All right, give me a second, we'll get this bird in the air. Okay, I apologize. I've got the camera in the shade here, so I know I'm a little bit shaded here, but it's not me you want to look at. The drone is out in the sun. Shoot, I better start a screen recording here. Okay, I got a screen recording started so you guys can see the screen, and I've fired up the drone. It says it's ready to go. It's got satellites. The first thing I noticed is up in that top right hand corner we have the green circle that tells me my battery. Now we're at 88% because I did use this battery to update the firmware, so I've used the battery up a little bit. So let's take a look at that. And there, it's not lit up yet because the drone's not in the air, but it tells you how long you have to fly until return to home, until forced landing, and until battery depleted. So that's all handy information. So that green icon you see on the left hand side there with the little triangle in the middle of it is the one that you can use to disable the pitch, or excuse me, not the pitch, but the roll on the, or bank, whatever you want to call it, on the right hand stick. So I guess the first thing to do is to get this guy in the air, and we'll mess around with the yaw settings a little bit, and then we'll try, first thing we'll do then is try a manual droney, and I'm going to try disabling that stick and see if I can get a good, just dead straight droney. So let's see what we are in 4K 30 frames per second. So no reason to change that. Let's start recording right now. We are recording, so let's take off. Let's just hit that on the app here. I better move my histogram a little bit, and we're going to hit takeoff on the app. Well, that was interesting. For some reason we lost connection there for a second. Don't know what that was, guys, but let's try it again. We're still recording. That was really odd. That was some kind of a glitch there. So typical for this drone. Let's take it up a little ways and let it get a look at its landing spot, like we always do, and then we'll turn the drone around and we'll get a look at it with the camera here. So the cool thing about this drone is, you know, the other day I was flying the Xeno 2, and this guy is so much more. It's just a lot easier to fly. So let's click on that icon, sideways fly it off, and I think that turns them all. No, yeah, it won't go forward. So I thought that turned off all of the sensors, but it doesn't. But anyway, let's go in here. Obstacle avoidance, I can turn it off right here. So if I turn it off, yeah, then that should turn, yeah, that turns that red. So that'll allow us to bring the drone in close here. And you'll still hear the beeping on the app, but you know, this is just phenomenal DJI technology. Like I said, the other day I was flying the Fimi X8 SE and the Hubsan Xeno 2. You would just never do this with those drones. It would be impossible. So let's back it up a little bit. Well, let's yaw back and forth, and we can. I like showing that gimbal in action. Okay, we're going to back up a little bit, and I'm going to go back into that menu, and I'm going to turn. Well. Yeah, so we're going to go back into bypass, and I've got disable sideways flight on. So, and if I wanted to turn that off, I could do this right here on this slider. But I want it disabled because I want to see if I can just do a dead straight droney. So let's drop the gimbal down just a tad, and let's go reverse and up now. Reverse and up. Man, that's awesome. Lowered the gimbal just a little bit there, and like I'm moving the gimbal to the I moved it to the left and it didn't do anything. That's really cool. So that's enough height there. We're about 56 meters. Okay, we're about at the edge of the park, so let's bring it back here. I am going to well, let's just see. I'm going to push the stick straight up, and let's just see if it'll come straight back to us. And it should. I'm going to pick the gimbal up, hit that rule of thirds, and you can see I need to adjust that gimbal pitch. Look at that. And it should just come straight over the top of us here. And we're just in normal mode. We're doing about 11 meters per second. That's about what, 25 miles an hour, something like that. 24. Okay, so we're going to stop right there. I'm not going to go over the neighborhood, but we can yaw, and this is a full yaw, so we're going to see if we can slow that down. I'm going to bring it back over the park here, over the green grass. And I can see the drone above me there. So I'm going to see if I can change. So when that is white like that, I am not sure what that means, guys. Does that mean, yeah, it means that it will just break. Got it. Okay, that's what that means. When you're white, it just breaks. So I touch it again, and I think yeah, how do I get it? Looks like you have to go into the app then to turn it fully back on, to go into bypass and turn on and get sideways flight back again. So I turn sideways flight back off, and we're going to try that right now. So with the I'm going to hit full right on the right stick, and yeah, the drone is flying right. Perfect. There we go. So it does what it says. That's good to know, isn't it? Okay, I'm going to reduce some altitude here, and let's bring the drone down, and let's mess with all those gimbal settings, etc. So we're going to go in, if I understand it correctly, we're going to go into the menu, go into control, and I believe we have to go into advanced gimbal settings, and pitch speed. So that's how fast the gimbal goes up and down, and pitch smoothness is how fast the gimbal accelerates when you start movement, and how quick it decelerates when you stop movement. So I'm going to slow down that pitch speed to about 10, and let's try that. Let's leave the pitch smoothness there at 8, and let's see what that does. So I'm going to go down with the gimbal, and that's about right. Man, that's about perfect. And I actually like the smoothness there too. It's coming just to a slow stop. You know, I'm sure there's some people that would like that, probably set a little bit more than I did there, but yeah, no, I like that. Okay, so let's go back in, and now yaw speed, and that's the one thing that is, and by the way, this is all settable in each of the modes, and I'm in normal mode right now. So I'm going to slow down the yaw speed way down. I'm going to go down to let's go to 35, and yaw smoothness is on 5. We'll have to check that out. So let's I'm going to go full left on the yaw, and see, that's still pretty quick, and we turned that way down, and then you saw it come to a slow stop there when I let go of the stick. In fact, let me hold this up so that you can see when I'm letting off of the stick. So letting off of the stick now. So it might be a little bit abrupt, but I think that's, for what I do, I think that's okay. Yeah, that's really cool. So you know, maybe I'll kick that smoothness up just a little. I kicked the smoothness up to 10, and then yeah, so pitch speed on tripod mode, I'm going to leave it where it's at, and smoothness is a little higher there. I don't need it that high. I'm going to go down to 10 on smoothness. And yaw speed, look at, they've got that slowed down, and yeah, I'm going to slow down that yaw speed in tripod mode to 25. And this is just something that you'll want to experiment around with. So, and I'll leave the yaw smoothness alone now. In sport mode, yeah, I don't, you know, there's have the pitch smoothness at 0. Yeah, I'm going to leave that pitch speed right where it's at, and smoothness, I guess, I don't know why they think you wouldn't want smoothness in there. So we're going to go up on that smoothness in pitch speed smoothness in sport mode as well. And then also in sport mode, the yaw speed, they've got that set really high. I guess I can kind of understand that if you're going someplace and you want to get there quick, you want it to turn real fast, but I don't. Now, so I'm going to turn that down to 80. I think that's probably still going to be really fast, and I still want a little bit of smoothness, so I'm going to put that up to 10. You're going to want to experiment around with that. And what I'll tell you is be careful with that yaw speed, particularly in sport mode, because you're going to be going really fast, and you're going to want a fairly quick yaw, because if you are evading something, or, you know, trying to miss a tree or something like that, you're going to want that thing to turn when you want it to turn. So let's throw it into sport mode here, and let's just see how that looks. So there's the yaw. See, that's still pretty quick. So let's go forward here. Let's go full speed forward, and let's see how fast we can turn it with that yaw. That's full yaw. Yeah, that's quick. That's plenty quick. And you can see that there's still a little smoothness there. Okay. Well, that's pretty good stuff, I would say. And I noticed in sport mode that it turns off obstacle avoidance altogether. You can see the little cross through that the icon on the left-hand side of the screen there. So let's go back into normal mode. And I want to mess around with zoom a little bit here. I'm going to reposition us. We're going to give it a 180 here. And boy, I tell you what, yeah, that's a big improvement on the yaw control. And that was a problem before. I was always over yawing really too fast. And we can do a steady, smooth yaw like that. That's very, very helpful. So we're out about 141 meters. Let's, I'm going to put the crosshairs right on where I'm standing there. Let's back it off to about 150 meters. Let's call it even there. And then let's go into zoom. So I'm not sure if, yeah, I believe I have to stop recording. So stopping recording now. And then we're going to go in and 4K zoom. Yep, there it is. So let's get out of that. Let's start recording again. Okay, so you see we got that 1X right next to the record button, and so if I understand it correctly, if I tap that once, yeah, there's 2X, and then back to 1X, and then if I hold it, you can adjust it infinitely. Well, maybe. Okay, that's 2X. It would bring up the slider, and I can see the slider, but I'm having problems sliding it with my finger. So there, I'm sorry about this, guys. So you can see the slider there, but yeah, I just, on my screen, evidently that's not working. Or it's an operator issue, probably. It's my ham-fisted fingers. Uh-oh, RC not connected. Now that was really odd. What is that about? Well, that was disturbing. Yeah, we lost connection there for a second. I have absolutely no idea why. Okay, so the other thing you can do, I'll have to mess around with that scroll. Let's go back to 1x. But if I understand it correctly, if I hold the function button down on the left-hand side here, and I can, with the scroll wheel, I can dial zoom in and out. And yeah, oh, that's awesome. Look at that, and you can see that number changing all the way up to 2. Yeah, very cool. Okay, so we'll go back out to 2 and then 1. Okay, so let's change our resolution now. So I'm sure we have to stop recording again. And let's try 4K. 2.7K is going to be very similar, but let's go into 1080p. Okay, we're in 1080p zoom now, and you can see the 1x on the screen. So let's just hit the button. There's 2, there's 3, and there's 4. And then one more time should be back to 1. That's amazing. That is really good. Now, I tried the slider before, and it didn't seem to work for me very well. I don't know. I'm just ham-fisted or something, because I am not able to make that slider work. But with the function button, I can do it with the wheel here. So let's scroll on in. There's 3, and we're on our way to 4. That is awesome. And then let's go all the way back out to 1. Yeah, I mean, boy, this is just a phenomenal thing. Think of the reveals and the things you're going to be able to do with this. This is really cool. Okay, so we're going to leave it in 1080p here. I'm going to bring the drone into us, and bring it down, and let's see if we can do a dolly zoom. I don't know if we'll be able to do it or not, but we're gonna try it. Maybe I need to be a little closer. So yeah, I think the other thing I need to do is, so I can go straight back, I am going to disable that the sideways flight. Let's go back into control. Disable sideways flight. And then I am going to go, I'm going to try, in fact, I'm going to put it in tripod mode so that I can go slowly. And I am going to try and reverse and zoom in at the same time. So we're reversing. And of course, what it's doing as it's zooming, so I needed to be high. Yeah, as soon as I let go of the button, it dropped the gimbal down there. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm going to try this one more time, guys. So I'm in normal mode now. I'm going to hold the function button down, and I'm going to reverse and zoom at the same time. Holding the function button down and reversing and zooming. Yeah, maybe I need to be higher up, because it looks like that. Yeah, I mean, we ended up looking at the ground then, so yeah, so we're getting low on battery. We probably can try that one more time. So it'll go into return to home here shortly. So we're going to hold the function button down one more time. I'm going to get a little more altitude and look down a little bit here. But that, I don't know if that'll have the same effect, but let's try it. I'm holding the function button down, reversing and zooming. Yeah, that's not giving me the effect that I wanted. Well, that's something I'm going to have to work on, but that dolly zoom is intriguing. Check out our Air Photography's video. He did a really good job of it. So we're just about out of battery. Let's hit return to home. Let's see if we can get a precision landing, and I'll throw another battery in it and we'll mess around with that some more. Maybe we'll try it in 4K, and we won't, and it'll just be 2x zoom then. Maybe the 4x zoom is just a little too much. Okay, let's drop this gimbal down so you guys can watch this. I might have to speed up that gimbal just a little bit. That is a little bit slow. It's reorienting itself and it's on its way down. Let's see if it finds it. Here we go. I think it's going to hit it. Not quite. Yeah, there it goes. It found it at the last minute. It picked up the camera. Looks like we are going to be, yeah, square right on the H. You can't beat that with a stick. Okay, let me change battery real quick, and we'll mess around some more with some of this stuff. Okay, so I've got another battery in the drone. We're going to get it fired up here, and let's take it up and let's try out some more of the stuff. Let's put it in sport mode, and I want to take a look at that gimbal and make sure that, well, not make sure, I'm sure that they corrected that where the gimbal pitches down when you're in sport mode. And we're going to take a look at it, and maybe we'll go across the street and take a look at how they're doing over there on the construction. The field that I used to fly over now is going to be a Costco, and they're right in the middle of construction there, so we can maybe just go over there and do a little sightseeing. Okay, one of the things I want to look at once this all fires up here, I forgot to turn the drone on. I want to see what our default settings here are. So it says vision sensors are blocked because we're kind of on the grass on the pad there. So yeah, we haven't got all the satellites yet. I bet we'll get it here in a second. Yeah, there we go. Hold point updated. So we got all the satellites, and I think because of the way it's sitting on the pad there, the sensors show is a little bit blocked, so that's why we're not seeing that hexagon green. So let's go back into 4K mode. So let's go to 4K zoom. Might as well have zoom enabled, right? And no reason we can't take off. So let's hit takeoff right now. Okay, there we go. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to take it up so we can get a good look at its landing spot here, so it can record it. All right, let's head for the corner over there, and we'll get some altitude. Let's throw it in sport mode. So we're in sport mode right now. Sorry about that yaw there. Wow, they've made a lot of progress. So we'll see if we can find a gap in traffic on the road here. Let me drop the gimbal down. And you notice in sport mode it does disable all those obstacle avoidance sensors. We talked about that earlier. So yeah, let's go straight forward here. Yeah, we've got a good gap here. Just behind that last car, over the top of the LDS church. And this guy is hauling the mail at about 18.7 meters per second. That's, you know, what, 37, 38 miles an hour. So let's take a look here at the building here. This is awesome. Boy, they're getting the lid on this thing fast. Last time I looked at this, it was just a concrete floor. Oh, I see about recording. Sorry about that. Recording started. Let's go ahead and let's see if we can do an orbit around this guy. Select target is too small, so I want it to do a point of interest right in the middle. Yeah, so we're going to do POI and speed it up here. We're going to go counterclockwise, and I hit go. Yeah, I thought I hit go. Yeah, so there it's going. So let's see what it does here. Boy, they've made a ton of progress. Let's speed this guy up over here a little. Yeah, boy, that's a Costco in the making there. There, I was able to get the speed up to full. I wanted to speed that up, so that's full speed there. Pretty amazing how fast they get these things going. So you see that warning, it says we're in Class C airspace. So this is actually, we're probably a good 10 miles from the Boise airport, but this is the flight path that the planes come in. So you have to be below 150 meters, and of course obviously we would never be over 120 meters anyway. Okay, so let's stop right there. And this is the parking lot end of it here. The gimbal again, and let's go out here to the opposite corner here and see. I'm sure the fuel pumps, oh well, I'm sure that, actually I'm not sure if this, yeah, they could be building a car wash there, couldn't they? That could be a Costco car wash going in. Don't know for certain, but we know for sure this is going to be a parking lot.
That's scary because I can't ride yes at all.
Boy, I'll tell you what, it is phenomenal how smooth this drone is. It's just a pleasure to fly. So let's turn around the other way, and I think I know where they're building the fuel pumps at. Let's do a yaw around. So there we are. See that right there? You see that sunshade there? I'm sure that is the fuel pumps. So, you know, that other lot may not have anything to do with it. It may be something completely separate. Yeah, and then we're back in that Class C airspace. Yeah, so no question, that's going to be where the fuel pumps are, right there. So maybe that parking lot is just right in front there. And there's the park that we're in. Let's see if we can go that gimbal up a little again, and we'll see if we can go right behind the church here and go out into this field out here. See if we can dodge the construction going on at these houses. And this field, I'm trying to figure out what that is. I'm wondering if it's even pumpkins or something. Let's drop the gimbal down. I saw something growing in there, and as an old farm boy, it makes me mad that I can't figure out what it is. Let's drop a little altitude and see if we can see. You guys that are smarter than me, take a look at that, and you tell me what you think it is. And this is a good opportunity to use our zoom, isn't it? So let's move forward a little bit. Oh, that's too far. I'm going to go back into normal mode. Back it off just a little bit. Let's hit that zoom, 2x zoom. You know, those. I'm just wondering if those are pumpkins or something that are coming off the off those vines there. Like I said, I'm an old farm boy, and I feel pretty foolish that I don't know what that is. Okay, let's pick the camera up again. Let's go back into 1x. That's an example where you know, we were able to use that zoom to our advantage. Probably forget it's there. Okay, so we're still at 58% battery, and we're still over the field here. This is the Super Walmart, and what's hilarious about all of this stuff is 2 years ago this was all farmers' fields, and now there's all this development, all these big housing projects, and all this retail development. It is just amazing how fast it all happens. Okay, so let's zoom into this guy. See, this is where that zoom is going to come in handy. You don't have to get close with the drone. You just zoom in and out. So zooming back up. Weak signal because I'm kind of behind the this picnic shelter here, and it's a metal roof. So let's get some altitude, and that should help us. And pick up the gimbal here. Let's yaw back around. So we're going to throw it in sport mode, and we're going to try out that gimbal pitch again, and we'll see if we get any movement of that gimbal when we go full forward. So we should be able to just aim straight across here. Well, I'm going to move over just a little bit. So we'll get a straight shot at coming across the pond there and into the park. That ought to do us right there. Okay. And then we'll go full stick forward, and we'll see if we see any weird movements of the gimbal here. So we're back in sport mode. Obstacle avoidance off. Full stick forward now. It's accelerating up to full speed. And yeah, we got a good gap. We're going to get in between these two cars here. And boom. No change in that gimbal. So that's perfect. And absolutely, I'm not seeing any props in the shot at all. That is phenomenal. Boy, it's fun hearing the drone go by too. Okay, we're about 30 meters high. Let's get the gimbal up just a little bit, and we're gonna go full tilt right over the top of us in sport mode, and you'll hear the drone go flying by. Man, it's moving. Pretty wild hearing that thing screaming by. Okay, one more time, back the other way. Full stick forward. And boy, if you can hear that. And the drone puts on the brakes. Okay, we're down to 40% battery. Maybe we can do a hyperlapse mission here. Might be kind of fun to try. I've never done that before. So let's see if I can, I'm going to give it a shot here and see if I can plan a mission. Okay, I stopped recording there, and I'm clicking on that film strip again, and we're going to go into hyperlapse. So we're going to set a waypoint.
Like close up? I would think so. Well, yeah. Wait, cool? Wait, short here. Let me set this sticker.
Okay, we're going to hit return to home now. So I recorded a waypoint hyperlapse, and we'll put a new battery in and we'll give that a shot. I saved it. I've never tried this before, so we'll see how that works. Let's see if we can hit another precision landing here. I'll bet we get it. I'll get out of the way so you can see it on the camera here. Boy, it's spot on. Look at that. X is right on the target. Yeah, we're going to hit the H right in the middle. And it picks up the camera. And there we go, we nailed it. We got all 4 feet on the pad. I would say it's a little bit off the H this time, but I'm going to call that a win. Let's stop recording. And let me swap out batteries here, and then we'll see if we can run that hyperlapse mission. Okay, so we're ready to go again here. I'm going to start recording, and let's go ahead and take off again. Again, we'll run it up a ways and let it get a good look at its landing point. Adjust that gimbal down. And now I have never done this before, but I need to figure out how to get it started on that hyperlapse mission. So this is my first time trying a hyperlapse waypoint. So let's. I'm sure I have to shut off recording. So we're going to turn off recording now, and let's go back into that menu, hyperlapse. And waypoint, and then how do I load a waypoint? That is the key. There we go. I just clicked on that little, what looked like a little menu on the side. So it's yeah, it's loading it. So I'm going to start, and it's telling me the camera angle is too large, so it's flying to the start of the waypoint mission, I believe, but I don't remember setting this as a waypoint. Okay, so now it's turning. All right. Yeah, so there we go. So it'll take it about 10 minutes to complete this mission. So I started the video back up here. ADS-B is showing us that we have a manned aircraft nearby now. He is going to be well in front of where we're at here, but it just wanted to show you how this ADS-B works. Of course, now he's turning, and it is a jet aircraft. He is way up there. or it's actually, I'm looking at him, he's right over the top of me right now. Yeah, it sounds like a turboprop, but yeah, he's way up there. But that's pretty cool that you get that warning on ADS-B like that, and just gives you guys a chance to see it. Let's watch him and let's see how far it goes. Yeah, so now he's out of our range then, and so it stopped. So yeah, let's go back here and we can drop that way. Whoop. There we go. Bring that map back down like that, and we're back to shooting our hyperlapse. But that's fascinating. I was sitting there watching the drone go through its hyperlapse and got that warning, so opened up the map to look at it, got eyes on the aircraft. Really cool stuff. Okay, we're about 30 seconds from the end of the hyperlapse here, so we'll see what it does. I think it renders it pretty quickly here after it stops. Yeah, so then it's creating video, so it's putting it together. So I notice, I'm thinking that we're using up a little processing power here, because I noticed when I yawed there, it was a little bit jerky. So it's rendering that video. Yeah, so now it's saying video created successfully. Actually, while we got some battery here, let's shoot a pano. We go into pano mode here. I don't think I've done that with this drone. Okay, let's pick up the gimbal and let's shoot a wide angle pano, and I believe it'll take about 9 shots here. Yeah. So we'll see what this looks like. Yeah, so now it's putting that picture together. It's pretty darn cool. Okay, let's go into photo mode, and you know, one of the things that I have never tried with this guy in photo mode is the 48 megapixel picture. So let's select that. In fact, let's move forward here a little bit, and let's get right out to the corner of the park. Okay, very good. Let's try a 48 megapixel picture here. So there we go. And then let's go in and let's try a single picture. So that's just a picture, and then let's normal, and let's try smart and see if that makes any difference. Probably not, because we're in really bright light conditions, so there probably isn't anything really to do there, but awesome. Okay, so we've messed around with some new stuff today. Let's go ahead and go back into video mode, and 4K. We're going to start video and pick up the gimbal here, and let's hit return to home. And yeah, we are in normal mode. Let's go back in here and go on to bypass. And we do not want to disable sideways flight. Yeah, so we're full green there. And let's hit return to home now. And I did that on the on the controller. See if this guy will get us, say, another precision landing. Drop the gimbal down there so you can see it. So it'll reorient itself again here. Let's see if we can go 3 for 3. That last one was, you know, it was still on the pad, so I'm going to call it good. The first one was right on the H. The second one was a little off the H, but it was still right on the pad. Yeah, look at that. It's got it. Boy, DJI just knows how to do it, man. This is really cool. It's going to pick up the camera now, pick up the gimbal. And I like that it automatically does that. And we're going to be right on the H. It looks to me like a little bit off. Still on the pad. Yeah, one of the feet on the H there. So I'd say we're good to go. Okie dokie. Let me get this guy shut down and we'll do a quick conclusion. Now, if I'd have been flying my drone right now, these guys are definitely low enough that it could have been an issue. Military helicopters. That's why you got to pay attention. Yeah, if I'd have had the drone in the air, there would have been one move there, and that's hit that down stick fast. But you know, got plenty of notice. You could hear those guys coming for miles off. But anyway, interesting to see how low they were. I don't know that I've ever seen an aircraft that low over the park here. Or they were kind of over the edge of the park. But in any case, hey, okay. So the Mavic Air 2. I mean, this guy is the drone of the year, no question about it. The more I fly it, the more I'm impressed with it. And how cool is it that DJI keeps giving us these new features and add-ons to just continually make it a better drone. So this was a fun day today, and I realized I stumbled through a bunch of that stuff and was not successful at all of it, but that's how you learn to fly the thing. So we checked out the new battery meter, and that's handy as heck. That works pretty darn good. You're able to see that green background is so much easier to see when it just had white numbers on there. And then also we adjusted our gimbal pitch speed and our yaw pitch speed and smoothness on both of them. I think we got those adjusted pretty well. But you know, they're pretty easy to adjust, so you can fine-tune them. We tried out sport mode to see if we got any movement of the gimbal, and we didn't. I didn't see any props in the shot on FPV. I'll look at the SD card to make sure, but I don't think we did. Messed around with the zoom, and that's just phenomenal. Makes me wonder why I need my Mavic 2 zoom now, for sure. I'm just trying to think now what I can do with that drone that I can't do with this one. And that's a phenomenal product, but it's amazing the quality of the zoom. And so then, you know, we just took it across the street. We did a point of interest and looked at the new Costco building over there, which is kind of cool. There again, the drone executed it perfectly. We took it over and flew over above the field next to Walmart over there and tried to figure out what's growing there. Took advantage of the zoom to check that out. Brought it back, planned a Waypoint Hyperlapse with that battery, brought it in, landed it, installed a new battery, loaded that Hyperlapse mission, and ran that Hyperlapse. First time I've ever done that, so I know it's going to be nothing spectacular, but there again, that's how you learn to do this stuff, and hopefully you guys watch what I do and you learn from my mistakes. And then one of the things that I need to do more of, and I haven't done, is take pictures with this guy. Particularly if I go out places like the Snake River Canyon, I get so focused on video that I forget it's actually a phenomenal camera too. So we tried out some of that stuff. I did a pano, a 9-shot pano, and we'll take a look at that. And then we did the 48 megapixel picture, and I'm really anxious to see how that turned out. And then I did just a regular photograph, and then I put it in smart photo. Now that smart photo I think is more for cases where you have low light and some hard to shoot situations. So I don't know that we'll see that big a difference. I was in bright midday sun here, so we probably won't see much of a difference between those two photos, but we'll get it home and we'll take a look at it. And we did execute 3 in a row precision landings, and man, this guy also, I'm just so impressed. Flying it around in sport mode, it really hauls the mail. Oh yeah, I almost forgot, we also checked out that the obstacle avoidance, where you can change the obstacle avoidance and turn off the drone from taking roll commands or bank commands. And we did a manual droney and it just went straight back. That's a boon for a guy like me. I'm always prone to cross coupling. In other words, I'm pulling down on that stick and I might have it to one side or another so the drone goes off at an angle. So just some cool stuff. I think primarily they put that in there so that when you're in tracking mode, so that you don't accidentally run the drone sideways into something, because it does not have sideways sensors on it. Oh, that's one thing my Mavic 2 Zoom has. It's got 360 obstacle avoidance. This guy doesn't. Pretty close though. So anyway, I guess that's about it. This is Marcus Crawford with the Idaho Quadcopter channel out. And if you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing to my channel. I'd appreciate it. And I absolutely do appreciate you taking the time to look at this video. And we will see you on the next one. Alrighty, bye now.